What is up, guys? Welcome to the Weekly Nerd Podcast. As always, I am Sam Brush, and with me today we have Tony Kaz.
What's up?
We have Ian Robinson back for the first time in over a month, so welcome back, Ian.
Yeah, welcome back.
We have David Drucker.
What is up?
And again, back with us, we have Madison Button.
Hi.
We've got
The Red Vixen.
The Red Vixen. Is that what her nickname's going to be?
Yeah, it's going to be her superhero name.
That's her superhero name.
Yeah.
And that's funny because we do have a superhero
Sarge?
thing. We do have a superhero thing going on today. But so today's podcast, we're doing what I call the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
I listened
Did you
to.
create that name?
No, I'm about to explain it. I listened to Rhett and Link's podcast, not a sponsor. Ear Biscuits.
Your biscuits.
Every week. They release it every week. And they do this every once in a while. I'm sure they didn't come up with this idea either, so I feel fine with stealing it from them. Basically, we get a question or a statement, and whatever that question or statement leads to in the podcast is where we go. So it's literally a rabbit hole, like when you were speaking and you end up going down a rabbit hole you didn't mean to go down. That's literally what we are doing. Do not worry, Sarge Carlson. We all have our clothes on still, as much as I tried to convince Ian to strip tease for us beforehand. He didn't do it. Yeah, so that's what we're doing today. As always, if you're obviously when you listen to this, it's not live, but we do have a live feed that you can go back and watch. So go back and watch that if you'd like to. And for our live feed listeners right now, share it, like it, comment throughout this whole thing. We're going to get to all of it. It'll be fun. So let's start. Actually, though, before we get to the rabbit hole, we need to talk about a couple two tree things.
Yeah.
Drucker, you why don't you start us out? Pick which one of the three you'd like to talk about.
Well, I guess the one I'll start with, I think is bigger for me, was it came out, I think it was today or yesterday, the news that Dave Bautista refuses to come back for Guardians 3 if they do not use James Gunn's script for Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Explain what happened in case
as
some of
well as using him as a director.
Well, not Bautista. Other ones did.
The actor. So what happened a few weeks ago? If you haven't been paying attention, there were some questionable tweets that came up again, which they're from like 5-6 years ago, but they came up again. Disney fired James Gunn for these tweets. Again, they're old tweets, but it's a bad mark on Disney, so they fired him. A couple weeks ago, I saw on Chris Pratt's Facebook, he actually started a petition along with the other actors for the Guardians of the Galaxy to bring back James Gunn, which I don't think that's going to happen. I think it was today or yesterday, I can't remember now, where Dave Bautista had said if they don't use James Gunn's script for the Guardians 3
and of course,
movie,
Bautista plays Drax in
yes,
he plays Drax in the MCU.
He didn't say he wouldn't return if James Gunn was not brought back on, but he wants James Gunn's script used again.
What do we think about that? I personally, if you haven't read James Gunn's tweets, don't, because they're vile.
He's
a pervert. Is the long and the short of it. And I don't care if they use his script or not, but he cannot come and direct this
really do not think he's coming back. Disney's not going to give in to the actors.
No. Because here's the thing. We were talking about this. Adam. Adam's an old friend from high school. Ian,
do I look like
Maddie, Drucker and I were out at... Well, he kind of looks like a girl, so no, just kidding. Adam, if you're watching, you totally don't look like a girl. At least you didn't 4 years ago, the last time I saw you.
Anyway.
But we were talking about this, and here's the thing. If all the actors are like, oh, we're not coming back, you know what's great? Raccoon is the only one that's still alive. So if all of the actors are like, we're not coming back, what's Disney going to do? Oh, no, we have to recast? No, they have to say, they all are dead.
And you go into the Ravagers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the actors don't have a leg to stand on here.
Although
Sorry, guys.
The problem the actors will run into is their contracts, that they are contracted to come back for these movies. And Marvel is very strict with these contracts.
Yes.
I know Idris Elba, who plays Heimdall in the Thor movies, has complained heavily about how much he has to come back for reshoots whenever there's a reshoot. If let's say he was in Avengers Infinity War Part 2, they say, hey, we have reshoots, he has to show up.
Yeah.
So Marvel's pretty strict with those contracts, and I don't know if Bautista can just say, I'm not going to act for you.
There's probably a back door out they can take, but it will cost them lots and lots of money.
Right, yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, and
I mean, to get down to the nitty gritty, you know what? It was a tweet and a message that James Gunn probably should have never made in his very professional career, but had made them 10 years ago.
Right, but
I
this
mean,
isn't like you look at the athletes that it came
Yeah.
out when they were like 14 and they said racist things and stuff like that. I'm okay,
Yeah.
give them a second chance. 10 years ago, he was still a grown man that should have known better.
I agree.
He does not
I mean,
deserve a job in
granted,
Hollywood anymore.
Everyone makes mistakes.
Of course,
and
yes.
it is what it is.
But he also stands by his tweets. Like,
True.
he didn't even apologize for them.
No.
Yeah.
He
So-
just said it's just a joke, and he's known for his humor. I'm like, but still,
Sorry, that's
you're
not
joking
humorous.
about pedophilia. Just,
Right.
It's just not appropriate in any way,
Not at all.
Yeah, I agree.
and it's something that's pretty serious.
It's incredibly serious. So there's that. And then the other two things we want to just hit on real quick that I think all of us are excited about.
Yeah.
Except maybe Maddie for the one thing. Just the one thing, because I don't think you watch the Marvel Netflix series is that often.
Correct.
Daredevil confirmed
Yes.
coming out in the fall.
Yes.
I am
I'm
so
very
excited for
I'm
this.
betting they're going to probably do a December release because you had Jessica Jones March, about 3 months time until Luke Cage June,
Definitely.
about 3 months time Iron Fist, and then about 3 months time you have Daredevil.
Which
and,
would be great. I'm so excited for this.
Yes.
I know.
I
me
thought
too.
it was going to be like late next year that we got Daredevil season 3, but I think fans clamored enough for Daredevil because
True.
that was the best one. As
And
great
to be
as
honest-
great as season 2, well, as good as season 2 of not Iron Fist, Luke Cage was with some good villains and stuff like that. They know Daredevil was really the only show besides Punisher
It is
that
their
actually
anchor.
hit. Exactly,
it is their anchor.
He's the Iron Man in Captain America
Of course.
of the Netflix series. So there's that, and then the other thing we want to quick mention is that it's rumored that Infinity War Part 2, next movie, whatever we want to call it,
Yes.
is being moved up
Yes.
to April, correct?
It's yet to be confirmed, but there is an IMAX schedule
Yep.
that had it posted for April 2019. There was not an exact date, but the April 2019 date on the IMAX is pretty strong evidence that this
That's gonna
movie is
happen.
getting moved up.
A movie theater is not going to put it out and have it not happen.
And there's a lot of stuff coming out that they're way ahead of schedule with the production of their movie, so it makes sense that they're going to move it up.
Now, another thing that was released too was also the next Punisher season as well,
Yes, coming in March,
coming in March,
which I'm
which
excited
is great
about.
too.
which is also awesome.
I think Marvel knows what their hits are.
Oh, sure.
And they're trying to wait long. They're great at making us wait long enough that you're
Yeah.
clamoring at the bit for it, but not so long that you kind of
And then
forget about it.
I think we'll probably get Defenders season 2 next
After
year.
that, yes.
I think we'll probably
Yeah.
get that around June of next year too. And I
agree.
think now that they've had their Netflix series established, they're going to have a regular release time.
Right, it'll be like their movies, their cinematic movies,
Yes.
Which always come out pretty
And that's
much
how
at the
they're
same
gonna keep
time, 3
momentum.
times a year. Yeah, exactly. So we just wanted to hit those topics real quick before we dove down the rabbit hole.
Ooh.
So are you guys ready to dive down the rabbit hole?
I think so.
Can I give a quick shout out to some people listening?
Yes.
Because I
Are
told
you going
them
to shout out to Kevin Goatee? Because
I
I
am.
wanted to. He joined us, of course, on a podcast. Oh gosh, what, 2 months ago, 3 months ago?
probably
It was-
about
it was
three-
for the
3 to 4
Infinity
months
War
ago.
review.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
Our
for the Infinity
War.
So
War.
that was back in May.
So
Kevin
welcome to
Goatee,
him.
what's
He's
up?
big, so thank you.
Sarge Carlson.
Yep.
Melissa Frenzy from Sarge Approved. If you guys haven't watched their podcast, they have a great podcast, Sarge Approved. They always have comics, directors, artists.
All kinds of stuff.
They have Survivor actors, tons and tons
In
of
short,
people.
they're bigger than us, and they're watching
Well,
us, so
they
thank
are.
you.
They are. So, and I want to give him a big shout out because he actually got me started in this. As far as the iPod, or not the iPod,
The podcast.
well, the podcast foundation. So,
And of course, welcome to all of our other listeners.
Yes,
Shay
definitely.
Cutshaw, Edward Baumeister.
Baumeister.
I learned his last name just 3 weeks ago now,
Yeah.
so that was great. And a bunch of others that have joined in.
Yes,
welcome to
yes.
all of you
Chris
guys.
Hamilton.
Thank you. Yeah,
Mel Simcoe,
it's great. It's great.
Larry
Madison
Roberts,
Buttons joined
Larry
in.
Roberts, who is also another huge podcaster as well.
Yeah, it's great. It's
Um,
great. Well, I have 2 rabbit holes, and just in case we got to the end of one rabbit hole and we were like, well, where do we go from here? I have a second.
Ooh.
So our first rabbit hole, and I really
Can I give it an introduction?
Sure.
We're going down the rabbit hole. I don't know. That was-
Beautiful.
yeah, that's really well.
All right,
well,
so the rabbit hole today, our first one. The person that gave this to me didn't want to be mentioned, so I'm not going to mention them.
okay.
They're not a listener of the podcast.
I'm
so
sorry to
they
hear
were-
that.
Well, it's not their thing, so
know.
whatever. But thank you. It's not quite as nerdy, but here's the thing. What is your favorite memory of the past 2 months? So basically of the summer. Your favorite memory that you've had. Drucker, your wedding doesn't count. I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, you took away the fastball down the middle of the plate.
You're right. I threw a slider instead, and you just swung
It
way
is a
out of place.
change-up. It was a change-up.
No, mine was my wedding.
Go
for
ahead.
sure.
Yeah. What about your wedding? Obviously, you got married.
The whole thing in general. It was a day that it flew by. It was an exhausting day, but it was a great day, and it's a day that you wouldn't realize it, but it goes by so quick. Mostly because you're so busy and you're so tired.
Now, are you only saying this because your wife is indeed watching the podcast?
What else have I done in the past 3 months?
Your list of accomplishments is kind of low.
So,
Marriage is kind of up there.
Kind of. What about you, Tony?
Oh man, that's a good question. 2 months. I've been staying low and slow for the past 2 months. So
You literally went on a vacation. You
I
can't
literally
talk about
went
that.
on vacation. Was really awesome. You know what? I had a great time down in Virginia. I got to see the.
You went to Williamsburg,
We
right?
did go to Williamsburg, which is one of my favorite colonial
Oh, it's great.
habitats.
It's great. Have everybody else? Has anybody else besides me and Tony been to
I
Williamsburg,
have.
Virginia? Have you been, Ian?
Long time ago.
You haven't been. It's great.
is
Williamsburg,
really great.
Virginia is
Yeah.
great. If you love history,
Jam packed with culture.
it's the best place to go by far. I love Gettysburg and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
I believe you've been to Gettysburg. I don't know, and I know you have because we went together once. But Williamsburg is just something else.
Yeah.
They're all in character and stuff like that. It's great. It's
tells
hot
great
as
stories.
can be.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it's a great time. Did you do one of the ghost tours while you were there?
I did not do a ghost tour.
Now you do
only
have two
because
little kids. So.
I have two little ones. I have a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old. So we tried to stay away from the ghost tours.
You could have done the family one.
We
The family one is like, and over there we once saw a cloud of smoke, so it might have been a ghost. And I'm like,
I
that's
was
a cloud of smoke.
yeah.
my wife and I actually went on our honeymoon.
Oh, that's true.
We're not
That's
big.
true.
We're not big historical buffs, but we missed out on going to the ghost tours. We had a coupon, but apparently they ran.
Coupons.
But they
Coupon.
only ran on weekends, and we're like, shoot, we're leaving on. It was like we left on Friday and Thursday we had a beach day, so we're like,
Yeah.
we can't do it. So
Yeah.
I felt
I would have skipped the beach day.
Uh,
I don't like the beach.
I love the beach.
I like
and the
swimming.
beach doesn't like you.
I like swimming in the seawater for like an hour,
Yeah.
jumping waves and stuff like that, and then I'm like, okay, this is boring. I'm done with this. And
Oh,
my
yeah.
mom's like, I'm just gonna sit here.
Yeah, no,
This
my
is
mom's
great.
the same way. I burn so easily.
Well, you a
I
ginger.
hate the beach.
Yeah, you are a ginger.
That's
You
kind
could
of
apply
what I'm
SPF
getting
3000
at. And I'd
every
still
5
burn.
minutes,
Yeah.
and you still burn.
Yeah. You go from white to lobster.
Same.
Same. So the last time I was in Williamsburg, we did a witch trial. It was really
okay.
cool. Because back then, of course, you got to vote as well about whether this person was a witch or not. They came in, they gave all the evidence. The woman was there, all this kind of stuff, and all of the evidence was like by that time standards, she was a witch.
Yeah.
Right. Like the biggest thing was she couldn't say the Lord's Prayer. She got like Our Father, and then she couldn't say anymore. And that was reportedly a huge test for witches.
Huh.
If they couldn't say the Lord's
I
Prayer.
thought it was the dunking.
There was that. No,
Yeah.
that was something else. That
was Salem
we
witch
didn't.
trials,
We didn't
but-
do that in Williamsburg. We didn't
yeah.
hold her under the water and go, "Is she coming up for air?"
There's just a permanent now hiring poster at Williamsburg.
At Williamsburg.
Wanted, one witch.
Ever wonder why there was a job opening?
So we're at this witch trial, and it was great. It was really entertaining. And then, of course, we all took the vote at the end, and like it was a 75 to 25 vote that she wasn't a witch.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, y'all are idiots. And as she's leaving, she's like, I'm going to kill you, the judge. And I'm like, she's a witch! She's a witch! And I'm like, how did you not vote for the she's a witch?
Well, it wasn't her nose, it was a false one.
It was a false one, but she did weigh less than a duck, so I'm assuming that
There we go.
she was
She
a witch.
turned me into a newt.
A newt?
The one interesting fact that I learned while I was there, and I don't really remember it as a child,
Yeah.
because I went there once before, but it was a very, very ritzy, well-known, like super wealthy neighborhood.
There